Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are not going to be talking about football. We talked about football earlier, so if you're here for that, just go watch the earlier video. But today, we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, talking about the play-in tournament, and then talking about our prediction of who's going to end up winning at the end of this big old tournament that we have every single May, even though last year was like in September when they ended up giving the Lakers their fraudulent championship, which we will be talking about in this video.
The Mickey Mouse ring.
Mickey Mouse LeBron. So we're going to be talking about that. But if you guys do end up enjoying, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. It's free and all that. And I'm joined today with Ravi. Me and Ravi have made multiple videos before talking about the NBA. Those may be coming back soon as we are now done with school. You know, school does get in the way of things like this. So here we go. We're going to begin, obviously. Actually, Ravi, do you have anything to say before we get in here?
No, I'm just really happy that these playoffs are starting soon.
Yeah, I'm very happy as well. Yeah, literally tomorrow. So the playoffs begin. I'm not too sure who actually plays the first games, but I'm not too sure it matters. We're going to begin on the left with the West. We got Memphis versus the Spurs here, the 9-10 matchup at the top left. Personally, I think this game is very interesting with the Grizzlies. I don't love the Spurs in this one. I would personally believe that the Grizzlies are going to win, but what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I think the Grizzlies should win this one, but the only thing is that Popovich might have a plan. You never know with the Spurs teams. That's the whole thing. They're always a wild card, especially when it's one game.
Yeah.
He's going to throw everything he can at them, and I don't know. I feel like there's a really good chance either team can come out with this.
Yeah, I think so as well. Popovich is an excellent coach. I just feel like Mr. John Morant is going to go absolutely insane in this one. Obviously, it's funny how both of the teams that are the 10 seeds don't even have a winning record this year, and they still get to make the play-in tournament, which is obviously something that people will critique. But at the end of the day, I think me and Ravi here agree that the Grizzlies are going to move on here past the Spurs to play against whoever wins the Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. Ravi, just explain how the play-in tournament works real quick before we get into it, since I didn't explain it already.
Yeah, so basically with the play-in tournament, you got the 9 and 10 seed playing each other, and the winner of that game moves on to play the loser of the 7 and 8 seed. So if the Grizzlies would win, they would move on and play against either the Lakers or Warriors, whichever team loses out of those two. And then that team out of the last two game with like the Warriors Grizzlies, let's say, that team would get the 8 seed and then move on to the playoffs, play against the Jazz.
All right. So I hope you guys understand that. Obviously, normally there is no play-in tournament, but they obviously changed the rules this season for a shortened season. So then we'll move on to the top right with the East, the 9-10 matchup. We got the Pacers versus the Hornets. Both of these teams with negative records. You'll love to see it. Neither team above 500, but it's okay. They made it to the show. LaMelo Ball somehow is alive. He seemed like he was going to be out for the rest of the season. Now he obviously somehow gets to go to play here up against the Pacers. Here, this is a matchup that's very close. Now, I'm a very biased person. LaMelo Ball is probably my favorite basketball player, besides Lonzo, of course, and LiAngelo, who's not in the NBA. So we're going to go ahead here, and my lean is going to be with the bias, and I'm going to lean the Hornets. What do you think as someone who actually watches basketball?
This is another one of those really, really toss-up games. I would love to see the Hornets win, honestly. But the Pacers are actually, they have a solid squad. But honestly, if the Hornets are healthy, everyone's there, I think they could take the game away. Yeah. Because they were like a 5 seed at one point, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Pacers were, if my brain remembers correctly, very good early on in the season, and then just haven't been that good recently. So I will agree with you and say that both sides of the bracket, the 9 wins, we're to go with the Pacers here.
Yeah, the only thing is that LeVert might just go crazy on the Pacers.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's nothing we could do about it.
You hate to see that. So as a Hornets guy, not even a Hornets guy, as a LaMelo Ball guy, this will be quite sad. But at the end of the day, we're going to move the Pacers on. So now we're going to go back to the left side of the bracket here with the Lakers versus the Warriors. The game that everyone is talking about. ESPN is going to have it all over their website for the next probably next couple of days. Just the graphic. I've already seen so many graphics. Steph Curry versus fucking LeBron, all the championships, all of that. All those graphics are there. It's going to be talked about forever. So we got the Lakers versus the Warriors. My lean as number one LeBron hater is that the Warriors will end up winning this game. But to be honest with you, I think the Lakers are going to actually win. So not going to give my bias here. I think the Lakers are a more complete team than the Warriors. I think that the Warriors are a sneaky team, though, because if they get their way in up against Memphis, I think they could probably beat Memphis and play in the 8 seed game up against the Utah Jazz. But personally, I think the Lakers end up winning this one, even with LeBron saying that he'll never be 100% again.
Yeah, I think everyone wants the Warriors to win, honestly, but I just don't see a way that LeBron's going to lose this game. I feel really bad for the Jazz or Suns, though, to be honest, to play either of these teams in any series, especially in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. So here we're going to go ahead and say that the Lakers end up winning. I think it'll be a very fun game to watch, and a lot of people will be picking the Warriors because, I don't think anyone really likes the Lakers, if I'm being honest with you, unless you're a Lakers fan. They're kind of like the Warriors back in the day where everyone hates the Warriors. So it's like the complete opposite of what was happening the other times LeBron was playing up against Curry. So we're going to go ahead here and say that the Lakers win. Pretty sad, in my opinion, because I want Mr. Curry.
So then the Lakers would get thrown to the 7th seed against the Suns.
Yeah, if they win, of course, which we assume they're going to. No, I just messed that up big time right there. So we're going to advance them on here to play up against the Grizzlies. Now on the bottom right, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Washington basketball team, the Wizards. And the Washington baseball team, all of those. So we got the Wizards versus the Celtics. This is a matchup that I'm actually pretty excited to see as well. But Boston ended up losing one of their key players to injury. So that's a tough scene.
The Lakers go down. Yeah.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah. Honestly, with the Celtics-Wizards game, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So who do you like in this one?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say the Wizards take the one game against the Celtics. The Celtics suck. They're horrible. I think if you're a Nets or Philly fan, you want to play the Celtics over any of these other teams. I'm not going to lie. The Celtics are literally terrible this year.
All right, so you like the Celtics over? Oh no, you like the Washington football team.
I like the Washington basketball team.
That's so annoying because every time I see Washington, I just think of the football team because I can't think of a name. Yeah, the Celtics just, I don't know. The Celtics always seem like a frisky team in the playoffs, but it wouldn't surprise me if they just got absolutely shellacked here by John Wall and friends.
They're playing tomorrow, so I don't think everyone's healthy right now. So I think they're like literally screwed. Like I don't.
Yeah, they're not healthy at all. So they are actually screwed. You are correct on that. So
I think we're going to get a rematch with Sixers and Celtics though in the first round like last year, which would be interesting again.
I'd love to see that. So the Washington basketball team advances down here. They go play Brooklyn, correct? That's how it works?
Yeah.
Down here with Brooklyn. The Pacers go up here to play up against the Philadelphia.
Are we saying that the Celtics are going to beat the Pacers here, or are we saying the Pacers beat the Celtics? What do you think about that?
I'd say probably the Pacers would beat the Celtics, right?
I don't know. I kind of would see the Celtics winning.
Okay, so we're gonna flip it around then.
Yeah. I would say Pacers or just get out of here, you know.
So the Pacers, where do they go then? They just fucking fall off.
They just get thrown away. They become the loser.
So then, who the fuck did the Sixers play?
Keep them. You see where like the winner loser 7-8. You put it on the loser 7, or you put it right there, and then the Celtics would advance to that game against the Pacers.
Okay, I got you. So then now the Celtics just magically advance here. We love to see that.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. So now what happens? This is so fucking confusing.
And so now we get another game, which is the Pacers Celtics game, and I would say the Celtics probably win that game.
Okay.
Right.
Boom. Now they're up here.
Yeah. And then
now we got the battle of the scumbags.
Yeah, Philly and Boston.
Philly versus Boston. Wow. Sorry, guys. I apologize if I just fucking seem like a dumbass moving this around. But again, it is very confusing how this works without being able to just click through it like you should be able to. So now we are here, and then we're going to, after we pick all these matchups, we're going to cut to a different bracket where you can actually see what's going on. So we will begin. You want to go west or east?
Wait, hold on. Wait 1 sec. We fucked it up again. We're saying the Warriors would beat the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Grizzlies just get thrown away like the Pacers, and then the Warriors would move up against the Jazz.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Tough scene in these graphics. Okay, that does make sense though. That does make sense.
Yeah.
I apologize to anyone who's a NBA enthusiast who actually understands how this works. So we're moving the Warriors up here, up against the Pacers. And then we're going to start in the West, I think, here. So the West, we got the Jazz versus the Warriors. I think that the Warriors will sadly lose this pretty easily, to be honest with you.
I would say the Jazz probably win in like 5 or 6.
Yeah, probably 4-2, I would say. I think the Jazz are
I can see that.
A much better team, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they should win at least, especially if you're a 1 seed and you lose in the first round against an 8 seed. It's gonna be embarrassing. But it is Steph Curry at the same time, so
yeah, that's very true.
I think you take 2 games.
Okay, so we got the Jazz advancing, and then below that we got the Clippers versus the Mavericks. This is one that's interesting, again, because the Clippers are a team that I personally do not like. I don't really like the Mavericks either. I mean, I don't really love any of the players, but I think that Dallas will ultimately beat the Clippers because it seems like the Clippers are just a choke Central Station type of team.
Yeah, so last year when they played each other, Luka was unbelievable.
Luka hit the fucking dagger.
He took him to 6, hit the game winner in game, like, so that the game series didn't end. It was very impressive. But I don't know, honestly. I feel like the Clippers would win this game. The Clippers have to win. They have the biggest chip on their shoulder after last year.
Obviously,
after
they
getting
have
flamed on Twitter for a straight week. They simply have to win.
I know that's true. They definitely have to win. They don't. They also don't have fucking playoff P on their team anymore.
No,
they don't. Chris Paul.
Oh no, yeah, Chris Paul. Yeah, well, I mean, Chris Paul's on the Suns now, but Pandemic P is still there on the Clippers.
yeah, that is true. So, I guess we can go with the Clippers winning. I mean, not as fun in my opinion, but I think that the Clippers would have. I mean, Dallas isn't the greatest. I think this matchup's fun, obviously, to watch, but I don't think any of these teams really, like the Clippers or Dallas, could really win the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. The Clippers are also dodging teams. You see that they're literally throwing games, so they'd have to play the Lakers, which is very funny.
Yeah, it makes sense though because they're the little brother in LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally. But I don't know. I feel like the Clippers would have to win this game because I feel like they're actually a good team. Like they're coming back together slowly. They're having a very low key season. People don't really know.
Yeah, but, you know. That makes sense. We'll have the Clippers advance here. Underneath them, we got Denver versus Portland.
Another rematch.
Ooh, another game. Denver last year, that was the magical Jamal Murray. That was the Jamal Murray blowjob gate in the playoffs last year. Well, that guy just went absolutely ham because he was getting some domes. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Jamal is unleashed yet again.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Nuggets are so good this year. Their team is so stacked. I don't know how no one talks about it enough. Their team is so stacked, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for fucking Damian Lillard. What a shame.
Yeah, brutal scenes.
What a shame.
But they had a game 2 years ago in the playoffs, and it literally went to quadruple OT.
Yeah, I just realized they made the playoffs, and this one dude bet like his whole mortgage on them making the playoffs. Yeah. Did you see that?
He bet the whole mortgage on 42 wins, and Dame was like, "Say less," and he won 42 games.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna go with Jamal and the Denver Nuggets advancing. Next up, we got the Phoenix Suns versus the Lakers. Another very fun matchup of fucking Devontae Booker. Is that his name? I forgot.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker, not Devontae Booker. Devin Booker, fucking playoff P versus LeBron and LA. I think that the Suns are the best team in the NBA, even though they are going to not win the championship because they're the Suns. So I think that, to be honest, even though I hate LeBron, I think they just end up winning.
I think the Lakers have to win. I just don't see the Lakers losing to anyone, honestly. Like, besides maybe the Clippers. It's so tough.
Yeah, so
their team is just so good, and they got better this year than last year. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Lakers they're just a buzzsaw. Even though I hope they lose. Like, I genuinely hope that the Warriors beat them. I hope that the Suns beat them, but they're not going to lose. They're just LeBron is inevitable, like Thanos.
Literally like Thanos.
At the top right, we go with the Eastern Conference. We got Philly versus Boston, the scumbag battle, like we said. Yep. Boston versus Philly. I don't think Boston even stands a chance.
I think they're gonna get swept. Honestly, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I think Embiid is gonna just
unless it's an absolute choke job, but that'd be ridiculous.
No, they're not gonna choke this one. We're gonna go with the 76ers over Boston. I don't even think there's too much to talk about with this one. It's not even super interesting, to be honest. Next up, we got the Knicks finally making the playoffs after 7 zillion years of tanking. Haven't been good since fucking...
Not even tanking, just losing.
Just losing on accident. And then they actually make the playoffs. Congratulations to all the Knicks fans versus a team that I really like in the Atlanta Hawks. But if we know something about Atlanta teams, it's that they choke in the playoffs.
Always choke in the playoffs.
You hate to see it. Not even just talking about the Hawks, talking about just Atlanta in general. We got the Knicks versus the Hawks. I think the Knicks might be the team of destiny.
Let's go Knicks, baby.
Let's go
Run
Knicks.
the Knicks tape.
Fucking Jeremy Lin's gonna come back from the dead, even though he's not even on that team. Isn't he in like the? He's in like the.
He's like in China, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, I thought he was in the backup league. Oh, maybe okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to play for the Warriors, and then like something happened, and he just couldn't. I don't know where he is now, honestly. He might be on the backup like G League team for something like that.
Tough scene, but it's okay because I think that the Knicks are actually good. I don't know what changed. I mean, they were projected to win like 4 games, but you know what I'm saying. They were projected to be dog shit, and then they were actually good. Atlanta's a team that I like though a lot, Mr. Trey Daddy. But we're gonna go with the Knicks here, and then we got Milwaukee versus Miami. Miami obviously made the playoffs last year, fucking made it all the way, and then LeBron dunked on Tyler Hero's ass. So LeBron, fucking Mickey Mouse championship though. So Milwaukee versus Miami. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Giannis does not seem like he's gonna eventually lose, right? He's never gonna win a championship because I think he's just cursed, something like that. Milwaukee just doesn't have the team, in my opinion, that can win a championship. But I do think they can move past Miami. But it would not shock me at all if Miami won this game. Or this series, I should say.
Yeah, this is it was like last year when everyone was saying that Giannis is just going to run over everyone. And then somehow the Heat just locked him up. And then it was just downhill from there. But now they got Drew Holiday. So I feel like the Bucks are definitely going to win this series. They got a good team now.
All right, so we're going with the Bucks here. And then all the way at the bottom, we got the Nets, my old team, before I jumped ship to go with the Pelicans. Shout out Lonzo. And versus the Washington basketball team.
Washington basketball team.
And also, those frauds moved from New Jersey to Brooklyn, so that's why I don't support them in reality. So we got the Washington football team versus basketball team versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn literally smacks the fuck out of them.
Yeah,
4-0.
It's not going to be close.
Murder.
But it is going to be a fun series because it's Russell Westbrook versus KD and Harden.
Oh, my God. What a series.
They got the rivalries going on here.
Did you see that clip where KD was interviewed and he didn't even mention Russell Westbrook as one of the best?
He lapsed his head. I don't know. There's no way.
It was a Logan Paul lapse in judgment type of deal. A severe and continuous lapse in judgment for the for KD, but yeah, KD is gonna smack the fuck out of them. That team is, no spoilers, but I think they're really good. I think they could end up winning. So we're gonna go ahead and cut right here, and then we're gonna teleport in a couple of seconds to what the actual bracket looks like.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sirski. And we are back with the true graphic here on the screen. So we began at the top left with the Utah Jazz versus the LA Clippers in what should be a pretty solid matchup. I don't think this is one where it necessarily goes like 4-0 or something. I expect it to go at least 6 games. Clippers versus the Jazz. Who do you like in this one? Because I think we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, so I would probably go Clippers here. Like, the Jazz are good, but they really haven't like proven anything. And like, you have Kawhi, you have Paul George, who are all like elite players. So I feel like they would simply just have to win it, unless playoff P, pandemic P, whoever P is, chokes again like usual. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think the Clippers should win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Jazz are a good team, but they don't seem like a complete team. Whereas to me, I just feel like the Clippers have much more star power than the Jazz.
They have so many stars on the Clippers. It's ridiculous. It's like the Jazz are studs. Like, they have like Jordan Clarkson come off the bench and all this, but I don't think it's enough to beat the Clippers, honestly.
And when you have to mention Jordan Clarkson as a top player, you know your team's shit. No, I'm just kidding. Jordan Clarkson was so bad, and now he's actually really good. So.
Yeah, he was horrible on the Cavs, on the Lake. I mean, he wasn't horrible. He just took so many shots for no reason. But like, now he actually makes them. So
yeah. So shout out to Jordan Clarkson, obviously, but they do not move on. The Clippers end up defeating the Utah Jazz and move on into the conference finals to play up against whoever wins in Denver versus the Lakers. In this one, I'm going to be honest, I hate the Lakers, but I do think they will end up winning. I think that Blowjob Murray is going to end up losing this one, and the Lakers move on. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like it would have to be the Lakers too. Unless there's some crazy injury or something like that, I just can't see the Lakers not winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to predict injuries in something like this, because obviously if LeBron gets hurt, then the Lakers aren't winning anything.
Yeah,
again, I hope the Lakers lose, but I think that the Nuggets are I think they could win this. I don't really see this one being a murder either, like where the Lakers just mop the floor with Denver. I see this going pretty far. I'd be very surprised if it was only like 5 games.
That is what happened last year, though. Last year, the Clippers, the Lakers literally just ran over them like it was nothing after Denver literally beat the Clippers.
Yeah, but that was the Mickey Mouse Lakers. This is the real Lakers here, so you got to think about that. So we're going to go ahead and move the Lakers on, even though I do not want them to win. And any Lakers fans, go ahead and name a player from 2001 that started on their team before you talk anything in the comments. Besides Kobe. Besides Kobe and Shaq, all right? That's obvious. All right, at the top right, we got another battle of the scumbags. Eagles versus the Knicks. Not the Eagles, obviously. The fucking
Eagles.
The Eagles. The 76ers versus the Knicks. And here, this is going to be another one that I think the right side of the bracket has more interesting games, like all around, I would say.
It's going to be a fun game to watch, but
than the left side.
I feel like the Sixers would just win. Like, I don't know.
Okay, I actually think the Knicks are going to win. If I'm being honest with you, I think the Knicks are the team of destiny. I think they're gonna make it all the way to the conference finals.
There's no way. That'd be crazy.
They are the team, and the fucking
76ers
always choke. This screams 76ers choke job.
Choke. I don't know. I guess. Because, I would hope
the Knicks are playing. The Knicks are on house money, right? They're just fucking winning. Like they're not supposed to be here, so like they're not as worried, right? They're gonna beat the shit. There's no pressure. They're gonna go into Philadelphia and beat the shit out of 76ers, and then they're going to go to New York, and then they're going to beat them again until it's a 4-0 route. Knicks over the 76ers. That's my pick here.
Knicks sweeping.
Knicks sweep. Bring out the fucking sweep. Bring out the Swiffer. The Swiffer picker-upper.
I like it.
Throwing the 76ers out of there. Next up, we got the Milwaukee Brewers. Not the Brewers. Jesus Christ. The Milwaukee Bucks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Brooklyn Nets. I feel bad for Giannis. I do, because I think he's such a good player, but I don't think he's ever going to make it far enough. Like, he's never I don't know. This just screams the Nets winning.
The Nets have to win this series. Like, this is going to be one of the best series in the playoffs, honestly. I could see it going to 7, but I think the Nets would just have to come out on top. They have so many stars.
For literally months, people have been talking about this game.
Yeah,
for months, literally. Milwaukee versus the Nets.
And now we're about to get 2 Subway series going on here. We got the New York series and the Lakers series, or the LA series.
Sheesh, there's no way that happens. I'm thinking about it.
That'd be the best thing ever, though.
We're doing it live. We're going with the Nets to beat the Bucks. Something that the Chiefs couldn't do. Next up, we're gonna go with the left, the West. We got the Lakers versus the Clippers in the Battle of LA. And I hope the Clippers win again. I think
the Clippers will win, honestly.
You think the Clippers are going to win?
I think the Clippers think about it. Last year, the whole team was constructed to take down LeBron. This is the chance.
That's true. That's very true.
Chance. The whole team was built to just take down LeBron.
All right. So Kawhi making another finals appearance. This guy makes the finals all the time. Not really. I mean, back in the day he did, and then with the Raptors. So we're going to go ahead. I'll go with the Clippers as well. I don't like the Lakers. Since they traded Lonzo, they lost my fandom. So fuck them. We're going to go with the Clippers.
I would say like Clippers and honestly in like 7. I could see this series going to 7.
In 7, okay. Clippers in 7. And then we got the Knicks versus Brooklyn, the Battle of New York. World of Shirts is going to be there. That dude from fucking TikTok. He's the king of New York. I run this city. All right.
I think Brooklyn would just have to win.
Robbie, you're not
realistically.
The Knicks are on a tear. No, the Knicks are going to get butt fucked here by the Brooklyn Nets.
Nice. It's not going to be pretty. I could see one win. I could see the first game going to the Knicks, but then after that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the jersey clash up. Look how cool the Nets jerseys are. Those throwback jerseys. Like, there's no way they're losing to the Knicks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks.
In the end.
Exactly, that's how it works. The Knicks are a team that they should be very happy they made it this far.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ultimately, the Nets just star power.
Yeah, they just have to. They simply have to win.
What's funny is, like, 2 years ago, you see all these graphics of the Knicks. It's like, who's on the Knicks? It's like James Harden and fucking Kyrie. Like, all those screenshots.
It was Zion, KD, Kyrie.
Yeah, Zion, KD, Kyrie. Yeah, back in the day. That's what every single picture was, like, on New York Times, all that shit. This is going to be our team. But no. Now it's Julius Randle. Yeah, no, they're still good. So we're going to go with the Nets here versus the Clippers in the finals. This is going to be interesting. I like this matchup. Seems entirely possible. No 1 seeds made it, though, so shout out to it not being the Warriors versus the Cavs every single year from back in the day. Nets versus the Clippers. Personally, I think that the Nets are an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
I think they win.
I agree. Think about it, like Kawhi, if he somehow locks up KD, which is not going to happen, but if he somehow can lock up KD, you still have Harden, you still have Kyrie. It's ridiculous. Both of those players can't be guarded either. Like, literally all 3 of them can't be guarded, so I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's no way that the Nets lose this. If this is the game, I don't think the Nets will lose. Now, if it's up against, like, LeBron or something, LeBron just always somehow Mickey Mouses his way to a victory.
AD would go for, like, 50 every time because they can't guard big for some reason, and it'd be ridiculous.
That's true, but obviously in this scenario, the Lakers fucking suck and they lose. So we got the Nets, Clippers. I'm going with the Nets. You like the Nets as well, like you said. So our prediction is the Nets to win the championship. Now, obviously, the Nets to win a championship, if you were to bet on it, is not even worth it because I think they're probably like plus 200 probably at this point.
I think it dropped on it. I think they're literally favored like minus 100.
Oh my god! So they're favored to win. I'm
pretty sure they're favored to win. Here, I'll look this up.
All right, so the Nets are favored to win. I figured they would be favored at this point, even though they are a 2 seed. The number 1 seed, I mean, the 76ers are just frauds.
Yeah, literally. Oh, no, they are plus 200. They are
plus 200. Are they the favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're the favorite to win, plus 200. I mean, that's very interesting. So,
and the Clippers would be at plus 550 to win.
Ooh.
And the Lakers are plus 400. Those are the top 3.
Wow. The Lakers, a 7 seed, plus 400. That's hilarious. That's literally hilarious.
That's the LeBron effect right there.
And the Jazz are like plus 7 million, and they're the 1 seed.
Yeah, they're plus 700 as the 1 seed.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's just the NBA is just like that. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our expert analysis. We gave in-depth breakdown. This is gonna be 100% correct as well. Literally nothing's gonna be wrong either. That's the crazy part.
No shot needs to be wrong.
Yeah, it's like my March Madness prediction where I said that the fucking Illinois was gonna win and they got smacked by Loyola Chicago.
Got destroyed by Loyola.
Fuck you, Sister Jean. All right.
Sister Elsa Jean.
Sister Elsa Jean. You know, she's a magical woman. If she was on the Nets sideline, they're winning by 1 million. That's all I know. So thank you guys for watching, Robbie. Do you have anything to say before we head out of here?
No, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had a great time. This is the second video of the day. Again, if you're into fantasy, check out the last video. If not, then I'll just go fuck myself. Have a great rest of your guys' day. As always, good boy.